Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Quantum Soul Code. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jay and I am an intuitive channeler, a spiritual activator, and energetic alchemist. I'm the founder of Quantum Soul Code and The Portal, which is a divine space for channeled wisdom, codes of ascension, soul remembrance, activations for awakened souls who know their power and who are moving into this era now of creating our dream life through surrendering to destiny. And this is the theme of today's video, or channeled message, sorry. I have come to realize and have been learning and receiving through channel guidance over the past few weeks that manifesting in alignment with surrendering to destiny is a very different energy and has a very different intention behind it than manifesting through conscious intention to soothe an ego desire or need, or to fulfill an ego's timeline or path for what is supposedly our dream life. There are two very different energies here. And I wanted to share a story. So in this channeled message, I am going to share one of three core perceptions which I was recently guided to clear in order to be able to manifest with much more ease, flow, and more importantly, in alignment to my soul path, my higher path, my destiny, surrendering to God's plan. And being able to stand on both sides of the fence now and look back in hindsight, I realize how I would have probably chosen some very different decisions if I was still under the guidance of my ego, as opposed to clearing these core perceptions and therefore being able to listen clearly to the guidance that was coming through to guide me on the path of my destiny. And as a result, the timelines have shifted significantly. And so I wanted to share a story surrounding this. And the story is that I was recently guided to fly to the other side of the world, and with no other guidance other than that I'm supposed to be there, and it will result in higher timelines when it comes to my music. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a singer, songwriter, and a musician. And so my ego immediately kicked into due diligence mode. And this is what we tend to do. We receive some guidance and then we go straight to the physical to check, is that realistic? Is that plausible? Can I do that? Can I achieve that? Is it going to be a good idea? And so we look into the external conditions and external reality to cross-check and triple check that that actually is a good decision and that is the guidance. However, this is kind of it's the wrong way around. Not that there's ever a right or a wrong, but it's for ease of for sake of a phrase, sorry, it's kind of the wrong way around to go about this, because the whole point is that we're creating from the inside out. And so we follow the guidance to create our dream life from the inside out, as opposed to looking at the outside conditions as they currently are and deciding our guidance around that based on that. So anyway, my ego did what egos do best and kicked into due diligence mode, and I started looking up flights and accommodation options. And it's the most popular time of the year to be in this destination that I was guided to. And of course, it's extremely competitive and most things are sold out. And it didn't look very easy from the perspective that I was looking through my ego mind. However, even though my ego went into this mode, I was always receiving some guidance alongside to say, you don't need to have it all figured out. Don't worry about it. You've been given a key, you've been given a piece of guidance, trust, and go with what you have today. But my ego was not accepting that. And so I continued looking for accommodation, trying to find options, trying to see, and all the while my ego was asking, sorry, why are we going there? What for? What are we going to be doing while we're there? Where are we going to be staying? How long are we going to be staying there for? What's the plan, God? What's the plan? Like, needing to see the whole picture, the biggest, the full picture, the full piece of the puzzle. And what I was guided, and this is the third step that I cleared, to be able to this third perception, core perception, that really then enabled the manifestation to come in after the initial two core perceptions that I'd cleared along the way. I was guided that it doesn't matter. I don't need to have the full puzzle yet. I only need the piece of the puzzle, because there's no point having the full puzzle yet, because all I have is this now moment. And the thing is, with this puzzle piece that I have now, the actual full puzzle and the full picture is changing constantly. Timelines are changing constantly. And so what I had to clear as the third step was this need for the ego to be in analytical understanding of knowing the full why. So knowing why. And this is what happens. We receive guidance and then we want to know why. The ego wants to know, sorry, why? What are we doing with this guidance? What's the logical explanation for that? And the reason for this is that the ego needs to have a definition to be able to identify everything. And so it needs to have conditions around our happiness, our joy, our love. It needs to have definitions around all of those things. Otherwise, how do we exist in this human body if we don't know what love is, and love has no definition and no conditions? We don't know what happiness is. How do we know if we've got it or not? So the ego needs to have clear definitions and to be able to identify these different things. And so it needs explanations. It needs to identify why. What is the reason we're going here? Are we going to be ticking something off the list? And it also needs to be able to forward plan so that it's always in control. And so this third perception that I was guided to clear was, first of all, that we don't need to always have the full piece of the puzzle, because that is always evolving, that is always changing. We use what we have now, what we're given now in this moment. And that what I had access to was just know that you're going to be there. But while my mind was in due diligence mode, it was trying to line up accommodation. And like I said, it's the most popular time to be there. I couldn't find anything that was suitable. Every day I was checking, until the point that I realized that I'd become quite exhausted with this research mode of all day, every day, refreshing pages, trying to find accommodation, and all the while saying to myself, sorry, how is this plan feasible? Because I can't find accommodation. So, and I don't even know how long I'm supposed to be there for. So it's too stressful. And I'm sure many will be able to relate to this, because we want to be in control and we don't want to leave everything to the last minute, which is completely understandable. But what I was receiving is that we only get pushed to the last minute because we block ourselves in this way, with this perception of needing to have the full picture and needing to analyze the why and the how. So the full picture comes with the why and the how. And the thing is, this is not what we need to worry about. That's not our domain. We don't need to worry about the why and the how. All we need to do is follow the guidance at this stage. And for those that are a very strong embodiment, as myself, as the divine feminine essence, it's not the way that we're designed to worry about taking all the action and building those dreams or those ideas, but rather we are designed to have the ideas, to receive the guidance, to receive the inspiration, to stay in this frequency of joy. Not always, of course, because we're humans and we fluctuate, but to be in this energy of joy, creation, and to remain an open channel to receive the guidance. The masculine energy, divine masculine energy, will therefore and consequently build those dreams. We don't need to worry about the how. And this is what I was reminded of. And so after clearing some reasons behind this blocked perception of needing to know the how, the greater puzzle, the whys, and reintegrating the true codes of the way that I'm naturally designed, to simply receive and then hand over to the divine to build and to trust. So after I kind of cleared and integrated all of the mess around that and re-established my connection to my alignment, to my truth, to the way that I am designed to operate, rebalanced my energies, came back to truth, I found myself one day feeling really tired. And this came hand in hand with the activations and the integration I'd just done. And I looked one more time at the accommodation situation, and there was nothing again that was suitable. And so I realized in that moment, why am I pushing so hard for this? If I know, and I was able to receive this confidence after I just cleared what I cleared, but I know that if I'm meant to be somewhere and I'm meant to be there, my higher self will make that easy for me. It will just be presented to me, because as long as I'm in alignment with my truth and I'm an open channel to receive this guidance and to receive the inspiration and to focus on my desires, to focus on, because this is what I was guided. Don't worry about the how this is going to come in. Instead, focus on the, oh, sorry for that noise. I just knocked a teacup. Focus on the desire. Focus on just being in your daydreams. Focus on the feeling that you're being given access to, knowing that you're meant to be there for some reason, and just focus on that feeling, really ruminate and revel in the desire. That's your strength. And so I took this advice, and while looking at accommodation for this final time and realizing, okay, there's nothing, I give up, I kind of made a statement to the universe and to my higher self saying, you know what, I'm just going to release this desire. If I'm meant to be there, I'll be there. But it's not something, obviously, it's not something that I can force. And it's just not working, and it's not serving me to disconnect me from my natural flow of energy in this way of trying to make it happen. So I don't need to be there. There, yes, I will revel in the feelings of what I feel into when I'm given the guidance that I'm meant to be there. But that could be anywhere. So I released attachment in that moment, and I released attachment to the outcome. I realized that it doesn't matter. I don't actually need to be there. And I was reminded that we can be happy, joyful, in love, abundant, connected anywhere, because it's a state of mind. And to be living our dream life is also a state of mind. And that was a separate activation that I'd also just done, which definitely helped. Reprogramming the concept of dream life away from conditions into a state of mind and a perception. And so I made the statement to my higher self in this moment and to the universe and said, I'm just going to let go of this idea. You know, if it was meant to be, it would be. And if it's meant to be, make it easy and make it, not in the last minute, because I'm not doing things last minute. So I set a very clear boundary around that. And just before I drifted off to sleep, so I set my clear boundary and then I drifted off to sleep, because I often have these conversations, especially with the divine masculine aspect of the universe, of God, before I'm falling asleep. It's just my preferred way. It just kind of happens. It just kind of works out that way naturally. And so the next morning, I woke up to a message from someone who lives in this destination that I was guided to go, offering me free accommodation in her beautiful, divine oceanside villa with views, expansive views over the water. And when I connected into the energy of this home, it was the same feelings that I was receiving through the guidance, the previous guidance, that I was meant to be in this place for a reason, to create and align with my highest timelines. And when I was guided to just simply feel into those feelings and feel into the joy and the desire and just daydream in that desire, after which I then disconnected from where that feeling needs to be. I just disconnected from the outcome and didn't need to be in this place. I just know that those feelings are coming my way. And that's the focus ultimately. When I tuned into the energy of this home, I received those feelings again, and they matched up and created a quantum match, a soul match, which is the lesson here is that our manifestations, the way that they come in alignment with our destiny and surrendering to destiny, our manifestations simply become a literal and a physical reflection of our inner feelings. And so, whichever way that is meant to manifest, it will happen the way that it's supposed to, in the divine timing, in the way that is divinely guided. When we detach from the outcome and needing to force that, then it can come in. So I can hear someone, at least one person's subconscious saying, yeah, but that's easier said than done. But what are you supposed to do? Just wait around for things to fall in your lap? To which I would answer, no, absolutely not. We all have a mix of divine feminine and masculine, and we're all guided to take inspired action as and when it is inspired and divinely guided to do so. And so I was still taking inspired action when I was guided, but part of that was trusting and surrendering to what I was guided, which was to just focus on the feelings. And the divine action that I was guided to take led me to see this woman's message. So divine action, divinely inspired action, can be the subtlest of things. It doesn't have to be a forceful energy. It doesn't have to be exhausting energy. It doesn't have to be this make it happen energy. Now, if you are more of an embodiment of the divine masculine, that will be your strength and you'll find joy in that. But for myself, as an embodiment of a very strong divine feminine essence, that's just not what I was guided to do. And in trying to do that, I was disconnecting myself from my authentic flow, from my authentic connection to the divine. My channel was becoming blocked because I was disconnecting myself in imbalancing my own internal energies. And I was trying to do something that wasn't my job to do. And so the manifestation was literally instant in my eyes. Overnight, I fell asleep, I woke up, there was a message there. And the feelings that I felt from connecting into this home, I could see how I'm going to be waking up to the sunrise over the water and walking down to cleanse my soul in the crystal clear ocean water, and creating music and receiving divine channeled inspiration for music and for this my mission, my purpose here, to share channeled wisdom as a channel. and creating and recording music in the beautiful divine lounge area, which is surrounded by art. And I love creating art and music and combining the two. So it manifested in the most perfect way, in the most perfect divine timing. And alongside this manifestation, I was reminded that, it only needs to be last minute, because we make it that way, because we resist until the last minute, until we finally give up out of usually sheer frustration. Then it can come in. But we can skip that part and collapse that space between making it now and needing it now, and then as a result creating it in the last moment when we eventually surrender and give up. And I did exhibit a similar energy and reaction behavior. I did give up, but it wasn't from, not that there's anything wrong with giving up from a frustration standpoint. I do that too often, when I just have like a mini tantrum and I just completely give up because it's all too hard. And then, of course, it flows in. But this was a different energy this time. This was just a kind of neutral acceptance of following the guidance, focusing on what I was guided to follow, which was to really revel in those feelings and know that those feelings are coming my way and were in my body in that moment. It wasn't even awaiting for them. It was experiencing them now. But there was just this knowing that those feelings were also going to be paired with divine creation, music, connection with certain souls. I know I'm supposed to meet people, and I'm going to be meeting new connections in this location. And when I then went into due diligence, ego, right, got to make this happen, then got to sort this out, I've received the guidance, that would be a previous way of manifesting, through needing to satisfy an ego need of, safety, security, being in control, having it all figured out. But what I'm shown is that there are different levels of existing in this physical plane. And we have the ego level of existing and manifesting, which is satisfying ego desires, kind of forceful manifestation to a degree. And then there is manifesting from a point of being in alignment with surrendering to destiny. And it becomes so much more easeful and flowing and gracious and appreciative and loving and soft and supportive. And it feels like we're being provided for by the universe. We are supported at all times. We are given the freedom and the space to focus on what brings us joy and what we're designed to focus on, where we're designed to direct our energy. And we can relinquish control of the parts that we don't resonate as much with, because like I said, for some it would bring them joy to be in that action mode of making something happen. But for me, that's not the way I'm designed. So it wasn't my design, it wasn't my area of focus to focus upon in that way. And so, as mentioned, that was the third core perception or lesson, soul lesson, that I needed to integrate as part of 3 perceptions that became a journey for me over the past few weeks, which started just before New Year's Eve. And there were 3 major milestones that I was guided through to be able to reach this point of manifestation, the ability to manifest, which is a different way of manifesting, through surrendering to destiny and to God's plan and the higher timelines for me. And each of these lessons and the clearing of these perceptions and the integration of this new perception from a higher consciousness perception, they all came together as part of a journey. So I'm going to be sharing that full message inside my sacred space, which is designed specifically to honor this channeled wisdom. And this sacred space of mine is called the Portal. This is a fairly recent new creation of mine to celebrate this new era that we're moving into, of divine manifestation and of bringing our dreams into fruition and into creation through surrendering to destiny. So everything that is channeled into that space is supportive of this new era of expansion and of creating and bringing dreams into fruition, knowing that when we anchor and bring our dreams into the physical, what we're doing is we are anchoring higher frequencies through our self, through our physical being, and through our existence in our own life, anchoring them into the earth, creating new templates. Because as within, so without, when we are focusing on our dreams, our alignment, our truth, and our destiny, our mission, our soul purpose, and we then are in alignment with those frequencies to be able to bring them into fruition in the physical, we're creating, as within, so without, a new world that we exist within. We're changing our inner world, and we're therefore changing the outer world. And so we ascend and we create, and through the creation of our dream life, we are changing not only our own life, but we're changing collective consciousness, where we're shifting and transforming humanity as a whole and the earth as a whole. And this is how we contribute towards the new earth templates and grids of existence, a heaven on earth, a new earth. And so if you resonate towards this energy of this channeled message, and you would like to hear the full message, then I'll drop a link in the description box below for the portal, and you can head over there and receive more. It's unlimited access to channeled wisdom and activations, codes of ascension, codes of remembrance, soul remembrance. And if you would like to come hang out with me more in my energy, then you're most welcome to come and join my private community of awakened souls called New Earth Keepers of the Light. And I will drop that link in the description box below also. Thank you so much for listening, and see you on the next message.